Hi gang, hey, this is Hexy. Let's talk a little last chance for victory again. I ain't shot but maybe 2 videos for this. I've been posting a lot of pictures and captions and stuff, but now let's. Plus, I've been running a lot of prints in here on one of my printers over here, so it's always too noisy when I decide I want to shoot a video. But you know what? I got a few minutes now, and let's do it. So it's the stuff I've been posting. I think one of my last ones was, Reynolds wanted Seminary Ridge back, or Doubleday wanted it back, or Reynolds did, and he's Doubleday. Once he gets in this hex right here, he will have taken his objective, and the first and second brigades, Cutler and Meredith of the first division, they're shot up pretty good, but they still have some units that are really, really decent. Rowley, who's got Doubleday's division, the third division, he's a 0 rated leader, so he can be a pain to get to do anything. Fortunately for them, they've really not moved much in this area, even though he's got some pretty strong as far as SP type units in there. They did break a hole in here, and you can see they've chased off the best brigade in Heath's division, Pettigrew. They have just maimed him. And now Davis and Archer, who were in the fight early, they had to shift over within that command range of where Heath is sitting. They had to shift over to try to cover the holes, and they're getting chased off. You can see the Shakens, the DGs, the Shakens, and most of this right here, along with 4, including the Whitworths. I don't know what I was thinking. 4 guns snatched or destroyed by charges. Which, I've written a couple things down about some rules in here that, when I get to the end of all this, or maybe halfway through the game, I might sort of maybe discuss some of the things, the ins and outs of, it's just my opinion of stuff, of how the game plays. And maybe, I'm going to do a little comparison to Great Battles of the American Civil War. That will probably be at the end of it all, because I'm playing 3 Dog at the same time. And let me tell you something. This plays twice as fast as GBACW, but it's because it has, a lot less detail than GBACW. So I need to play catch up on GBACW, but on 3 Dog. But I'm playing that on Vassal. And while I'm getting used to that and I'm getting comfortable with Vassal, it's still a little slower. Okay, so anyhow, Doubleday's attack has come off pretty good. I don't know how much longer he can sustain it, and I'm going to tell you why. Reason number 1. Across the battlefield. There's Early, there's Rhodes, and Ewell finally gave an order, and Rhodes' whole division is now going to drive on the attack. Now, I have it set up for Rhodes to drive into this area here, to split between the 11th and the 1st Corps and get down into, I think I have their objective down here somewhere. And then Early is to drive through and clear out Gettysburg. He's got a point somewhere, I think, on the back end of Gettysburg here. So, so the push has started now. Now, here's the best thing about that. Poor old Pender has been sitting back here. Nothing he can do. A.P. Hill couldn't give him no orders. Lee, and of course, we're applying the rules, and I'm trying to put it in a literature type way. That Lee is cautious because he doesn't know what Ewell's status is yet. So the rules say that Ewell has to pass his first command roll. Once he does, then Lee can start giving orders. Now, Ewell passed his command roll, so Lee wrote orders this turn for A.P. Hill in the 3rd Corps. He's on fire because Heath did take this location up here in his initial attack, okay? So he just wrote orders for them to attack, for a 3rd Corps to attack, for Heath to hold the left side and not to cross over Seminary Ridge and support Pender on the left. And Pender has the objective of driving into this orchard up here. They need to decimate 1st Corps. Depending on what Rhodes and Early do to the 11th Corps, which I got a feeling they're going to just waylay them, then somewhere through this drive of Pender, which he ought to be fairly successful with the strength he's got and everybody's fresh. And then on the next turn, you got Anderson starting to come on the map. He's going to deploy here on Harris Ridge. But depending on Pender's success and how much damage he takes or what they dish out to the 1st Corps, with Lee being on fire, they might just change the orders and continue to drive on Cemetery Hill. I think the next arrivals for the Union, I think it's the 2nd Corps. Hancock is already coming on the map down there. Now, Reynolds is not dead. He is still in the game because I just didn't play by that rule. So Reynolds is still the on-field commander. They've got the rules for Howard and Hancock splitting command if Reynolds, because Reynolds not being here. But now I'm wondering, what can I do with Reynolds? So Reynolds is a 4-4 leader, and so is Hancock. Howard he's a 2-0 leader. Wonder if should have incorporated a rule where maybe Reynolds and Hancock could split, but I don't think Hancock was a wing commander. I could be wrong, but I don't think he was a wing commander like Reynolds was. So we're going to go with Reynolds he's the king of the battlefield for the Army of the Potomac until Meade gets here. 11th Corps is ready to take the attack. Matter of fact, they've already caused some damage to roads over there. But with early rolling down on their right side, just like it was July 1st, maybe at a little different pace. I don't know. Their morale levels are terrible. I don't know how long it's going to last. But, yeah, we're going to push along this Pender attack. If A.P. Hill accepts, which he's a 0, if he accepts his orders on, was it 3:30, I think I have it listed down, or 3:45, then he'll be able to pass them down to Pender and on to Heath and get this attack rolling. They need to get it going now before, I think it's a second before they start to arrive on the battlefield, which I don't think it's anytime soon. So there's just not much on the reinforcement chart for the Union Army of the Potomac just yet. But hey, man, we're at 3:15 in the afternoon on July 1st. I'm impressed that I've gotten this far in this game, and I'm having fun with it. It's not GBACW, but I am having fun with the system. It flows smooth because of, like I say, the complexity is a little lighter. All right. One of the things that you got to keep track of, because there's not a marker to put on the units on the board, is you got to use your charts, your lost charts, which I have over here that I'm filling in, like the old Terrible Swift Sword stuff. The lost charts to check who's wrecked and who's not, because those do affect things. All right. Get a lot of shaking. You see all those cowardly legs on the map? That's because Doubleday just threw Heath into a tizzy back here, and I'd almost put Heath in a shattered state right now. I don't want to get him off the line, but I need Pender to get up here and get engaged with the 1st Corps before I can even consider that with Heath. So there you go, 3:15 on the afternoon, July 1st, 1863. We're going to keep on chugging along with this and with our 3-dog play, and I'll get some more stuff up on that soon. And we'll talk to you all as the heat of the day wears on later. See ya.